Hi everyone, my name is Manny and welcome to my doll collecting channel. Mattel has yet again released another 12 Days of Christmas Barbie. This is the second in the series. I do have a review on my channel of the first one in this series. That's the 2022 edition. So if you're interested in checking that one out, I'll leave that in the description. But today we will be unboxing the 2023 12 Days of Christmas. So first off, the box in the front has this beautiful poinsettia design with gold embossed Barbie 12 Days of Christmas. And I do love the way this looks. I will say it is quite bulky though, because inside you'll see is a calendar and it's very similar to last year's calendar. And on the back you get a picture of the doll and all the little accessories that come along with her. Now it is a picture of two dolls, but it is actually just the same doll, just in a different dress. And you get all these little accessories with her. So let's go ahead and slip this out of the cover. This is on quite tight, so it'll take me a minute. Okay, so here it is. You can see it is numbered 1 through 12, and the first one, just like last year, should be a doll, so it's not much of a surprise. It's kind of the same thing. The one thing I will say is this calendar looks pretty much like graphically designed the same as last year's. I think I would have liked maybe a different little graphic design just to kind of change it up. It looks really similar, especially when you put them side by side. I think that if you want to display them for Christmas, it would have been nice to make them look a little bit different. But yeah, let's go ahead and open number 1. In this video, I will be opening all of these boxes, so if you don't want a spoiler, you probably shouldn't be watching this video. But yeah, let's go ahead and open number 1 and see the doll. So these are on quite tight, but they pull out just like that. And the doll should slide out. Ooh. Oh wow. Oh wow. This is beautiful. Oh, she's got like a little stray hair. Wow, this is beautiful. Oh my god. That is gorgeous. I love this reveal. And you can see here the bottom, the dress is tacked, so it actually stays in place. And she is wearing pants underneath. This is beautiful. And this fabric feels really nice. I was worried that this fabric was going to be really bulky, because that's my thing with like brocade fabrics. Is like brocade fabrics aren't the best because they can be quite stiff, and well, they're not the best on doll clothing. Let me clarify that. Brocades aren't the best on doll clothing, but if you can find brocades like this that are thin, it works really well. And I really love this. It has some like, well, I don't think they're quite metallic threads, but they're very shiny threads running through the fabric. And the pants are like a poly satin, but it's a very nice poly satin. I have issues with poly satin, but there is good poly satin and then there's bad poly satin. And this is a good poly satin. And it looks like she's got some gold buttons and some beautiful gold jewelry. Okay, let me go ahead and take her out of this box first so we can like look at all the details. All right, and Barbie is out of her packaging, and this is beautiful. I was expecting her to come in her red dress, this red dress right here, because I thought she was gonna come in that one because it was, you know, it's like the basic one, so I thought like they would start off with the basic dress and then kind of reveal this one, but they did the opposite and they had her revealed in the pretty dress. That's great because I'm already pretty excited. Hopefully we can sustain that excitement, But yeah, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at this doll. So first, let's take a look at the screening. So this doll uses the vintage face mold, or other collectors call it the nostalgia face mold. It's what Barbie first premiered in. And it's really nice to have this in a darker skin tone, because we know that Mattel in the 60s originally never produced any dolls with the nostalgia face mold in a dark skin tone like this. And if we take a closer look at the screening, she does have this beautiful sort of gold eyeshadow, and it really matches her eyes. Yeah, this is really stunning. The color of her eyes are like this honey brown, and it really picks up the gold in her eyeshadow. So the doll also has this beautiful winged eyeliner that's very on trend, and she has bottom lashes as well. Also, there is 0 pixelation, and it's really beautiful. I think that they screened it on really well. I don't see any sort of wonkiness, and yeah, the lips also look good. Yeah, I think with the vintage face mold, I've seen the most sort of like wonkiness happen with how the lips are printed, but this one looks good. And it also kind of looks like she has a little bit of blush actually on the cheeks. Or am I making that up? I don't know. I can kind of see a little bit of red blush on the cheeks, which is really beautiful. And her jewelry, her earrings are these like gold sort of vacuumized metal. And this was a point of contention, the necklace being molded. Hold on, let me cut off this rubber band that's like holding her. Oh, she is, her body is covered in plastic. Huh. I wonder why. I can't imagine this material would stain her, but maybe it's for the red dress? I don't know. Okay, it's really hard to take off this rubber band, so we might have to do it when I undress her to put on the second outfit. But anyway, this necklace was a point of contention because it is molded on. It's not like separate strands of beads, which, I mean, it also matches the bracelet, by the way. The bracelet is molded. It's not separate strands of beads, which, I don't know. Like, for me, Barbie, one of the reasons I like Barbie is because it's a kid's toy, and to me, molded on accessories reminds me of, you know, it being a kid's toy. And I do like that. However, in the early 60s, they didn't really have molded accessories. If they had pearl necklaces, they would be actual strands of pearls, or not real pearls, but actual strands of beads. And same with, you know, bracelets and stuff like that. So I think, yeah, I do understand why people are kind of upset that it is molded, just because it doesn't really make sense that if they're doing this sort of like time period, this like early 60s Barbie, they should have given us sort of not molded on accessories. They should have given us, you know, separate beaded strands. I think that would have elevated the collector doll. But anyway, I do like that this is vacuumized metal. If this was not like this metallic vacuumized metal, I would not have liked these accessories. The hairstyle I forgot to talk about. I don't know if I love this hairstyle. I'm not sure, like it doesn't, I think I would have just liked maybe a simple like bun at the top to maybe give like a sort of 1960s beehive effect. But yeah, I don't love the hairstyle just because I'm not sure like what, like if this is supposed to be referencing the 1960s, like I don't know that I've seen a lot of hairstyles like this in the 1960s. But yeah, so not super in love with it. Another thing that I'm not super in love with is the fact that she has like this exposed hairline. and the hairline is like very square, and I don't know, that's just might be like a personal thing for me, because I don't really like when dolls have their hairline exposed because of the plugs. You can like see the plugs and stuff like that. So I think she would have benefited from some like bangs or something. But yeah, I think it's still a pretty doll, but that's just kind of like, you know, me being picky. All right, so now let's go ahead and take a closer look at the dress. So the dress is this beautiful emerald green. It has this sort of like sash detail over the top that is a really nice soft satin, and it wraps around the top of the bodice, and she has gold buttons. These are really beautiful gold buttons, and she does snap at the front. One of my snaps is coming undone. Well, it's really coming undone. Like, it's actually about to fall off. Do you see that? Like this snap? Yeah, it's like already falling off. Don't love that. Another thing I don't really love is the fact that this snaps down the front, because the snaps don't sit right. I do appreciate that these snaps are metal, because I don't like the plastic ones. The plastic snaps don't hold really well. These hold nicely, but if you look at her from the side, you can see that the dress doesn't sit flat in the front, which bothers me. I think that if this was actually produced back in the 60s, they probably would have made an opening down the back, which might have been a little bit harder for her to like slip into. And I think they also probably wanted the back to look really nice and seamless. So, yeah, I guess down the front is the only option. I just really don't like how this sits with snaps down the front. But, you know, at least they gave us metal snaps. And the doll underneath is wearing this sort of plastic, and she's not wearing a shirt. So let's go ahead and take that off. And yeah, I mean, this like overlay is gorgeous. I love how this trains in the back. I do need to give it like a nice good press just to get the wrinkles out because it was in the box, but it's really nice. It's not lined, but it doesn't need to be lined. I actually think that if it was lined, it would have been too bulky at doll scale, so I'm actually happy that this kind of fabric is not lined. I think it sits and flows a lot better without the lining. So here is a closer look at the pants, and it looks like the front fits really well. I like the way the front sits. It has some little slits down the side, which is a beautiful detail that I love to see on collector dolls like this. The back of it isn't super fitting, but it is closed with a hook and bar. So the hook and bar is great. I actually think that maybe they should have done the hook and bars down the front of the overdress, but yeah. I think that would have helped the front sit a little bit better. So yeah, anyway, they do have hook and bar in the back, which is very nice. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the pants. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the shoes. So the shoes at the bottom have these holes because she does come with a stand, which I don't know where the stand is actually. I would have thought they would have put it in the first box, because how are we supposed to put her on the stand? Did mine not come with a stand? That's weird. Okay, maybe it's in the second days. Okay, the stand is actually the present for the second days, which I'm not really happy about, actually, because last year the stand came in the first box, but this year they put it in the second box, and there's nothing else in the second box, by the way. It's just the stand. I think that is, I think that's definitely cheating us, because last year it was not, the stand itself wasn't an entire day. It came with the doll in number 1. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the shoes again. This is a reused shoe mold, but in a different color. This is sort of like a dark green color, which I do like. It is pretty soft, but the heel is also pretty sturdy, which I like. So I do like these shoes, and I'm glad that I have another pair of them in a different color. Okay, so let's go ahead and open, I mean, we already know what number 2 is. It's the stand, so let's go ahead and take a look at the stand. Okay, so here is a closer look at the stand. You can see it's embossed with the Barbie name, and yeah, I do like this stand. It is the number 1 Barbie stand. If you're not familiar, the first Barbie came with holes in her feet that slot into these little pegs, like so. Okay. It's not going in. Hold on, maybe. And I need to switch feet. Okay, that's better. Yeah. Oh, she's naked at the top. Sorry. So, yeah, that slots in just like that. And yeah, I think this is a beautiful display piece for a collector. Let me put her top back on. Okay, so this is what she looks like with her stand. Yeah, this is a really nice stand. However, I don't like that they gave it to us as like another day, as one single day. Another thing is that all these accessories come in these like plastic bags, which is a repeat from last year's. And I don't know how I feel about this like cheap plastic bag. Kind of reminds me of like McDonald's toys. I think that for $150 at collector level, it would have been nice to maybe get them wrapped in like tissue paper or something. You know, tissue paper I'm sure isn't any more expensive than like a plastic bag, but yeah. Anyway, day 2 is a stand. Okay, so just to move things along, I am going to do a montage of the rest of the days, and we can debrief on all the accessories after I show you all of the accessories. Okay, so that is everything. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the camera around just so we can see everything that came with this calendar. Okay, so here is a better view of everything that came with this year's calendar. I have some positive things as well as some negative things. So let's just go ahead and get the negative things out of the way so we can end on the positive. So first things first, I mentioned this already, but I don't like that they gave us the stand as one accessory for one day, and it doesn't make sense to wait another day just to get the stand. Now, another thing that I don't like is I see reused molds. So the reused mold in this lot is this Christmas present, and this is the exact same color. I think it's the exact same color. Yeah, it has like the gold ribbon and the box is red. So yeah, that is a reused mold and I'm not super happy about that. But everything else I do really like. One of my favorite things is probably this tea set. I think it's really detailed. I love all the painted details this has. I don't expect anything less. So yeah, I'm really happy that these came with painted details. I like that the accessories are removable from the plates. So yeah, this little tea set, you can actually take the little tea mugs, or you know, the tea mugs away from the plate. So yeah, that's really nice. And the tea set, actually I didn't check, and this is the tea kettle. Oh wow, the top does come off. Okay, I love that. That's really cool. Yeah, so let's go ahead and put that back on. And another little detail that I love that you might not have caught was this little greeting card. This little greeting card is from Midge. So last year's was from Ken and this year's is from Midge. So yeah, I thought that was kind of cute. This greeting card, I guess it's like a bigger greeting card, I don't know, but it is empty on the inside, which is like whatever. I don't know, it's a piece of paper. And the poinsettia bush, this is probably one of my favorites after the tea kettle set, or the tea set. Yeah, this poinsettia arrangement is really beautiful. It has quite a bit of detail to it. It has, you know, the soil was painted a different color. Sorry, let me get a better focus on this. The soil is painted a different color, and you even see like the pot is painted gold with this like fleur-de-lis pattern around the pot, which yeah, I really love this. It has really great detail. So yes, big positive. I love all the painted details on this set. So let's go ahead and talk about the dress. The dress I actually really like. I did not think I was going to like this as much as I do, because it looked pretty basic. I'm not gonna lie, it looked really basic in the pictures, but when I have it now up close, it has enough detail that I really like the dress. It is this poly satin material, but again, as I mentioned before, there is cheap poly satin and there is good quality poly satin. So this is a good quality poly satin, and it is hemmed really nicely along the top here on the bodice and along the bottom. It opens down the back, which I'm really glad, because it could have opened down the front, but yeah, that wouldn't have made sense. So yeah, it does open in the back with plastic snaps, which I don't like. They did use the black metal snaps on the green dress, which is much better, but oh, these are actually not that bad, these plastic snaps. Okay, well anyway, plastic snaps, whatever. Snaps nonetheless though. And then the inside is not lined, which I mean, you all know I don't really care much for lining unless, you know, the garment absolutely needs a lining. But yeah, it does have a really nice sheen to it. It actually does look really luxurious. I think they chose a really good satin material for this. And it does bunch up here, which is a really nice little detail. And the top also, let me get this in focus. The top has these beautiful little bows at the shoulders. So yeah, let's go ahead and put this on the doll so that we can get a better look at the dress. All right, so the doll is dressed in her second outfit, and let me put her on her stand first, actually. Okay, so here she is on her stand, and she's beautiful. I love this dress. I thought that it was going to be plain and boring, but now having it in person, it has these really nice, beautiful details that I like to see at the collector level. It's got the bows on the shoulder, it's got some gathers down the waist on the side here, and in the back you can see she also has a slit, which if this was a real dress, it would most likely have a slit down the back to allow for some movement for, you know, some walking. So it's really nice to see that Bill Greening, the designer of this doll, really thought about these small little, you know, details that a dressmaker would think about. I can definitely see the poinsettia influence in this year's calendar, you know, the bright red and the emerald green. Yeah, I can definitely see that influence. One thing, the shoes were really difficult to get on. I had to like really shove them in there. They did not break. They are pretty tough, so yeah. Anyway, that's a small little note. Something else that I forgot to mention is her toenails are painted. They're painted red, just like the nails on her hands. And they're really light though. Like I can barely see the toenails, the color of the toenails, but it is nice that they are painted. You know, I expect nothing less from a collector doll. They should have painted toenails and, you know, fingernails. All right, so let's go ahead and get her in her first look for some final thoughts. All right, so here is Barbie in her first look. And yeah, I mean, I love both these outfits. Both these outfits are really gorgeous. And for me, this set is very much about the doll and the two outfits. The accessories are a nice addition, and I think that people who like, you know, taking pictures with their dolls and like diorama setups will really enjoy those types of things. I don't really set up too many dioramas, so I don't really know if I'm going to do much with the little plastic accessories. But yeah, for me, this doll is all about her dresses and the doll herself. As far as is it worth $150, I mean, I don't like telling people what something is worth because it's gonna be all subjective. But I really like, oh, the stand fell. But I really like this doll and the dresses. Will I be getting a third one if they come out with another one next year? I don't know. Just because the calendars are so bulky. Like now I have two of them and I don't really know how I'm gonna display them because they're just so bulky. Alright, so anyway, that is it for this review. If you enjoyed this style of video, go ahead and leave me a like. And if you haven't subscribed, why not subscribe? Alright everyone, thank you so much for joining me on this unboxing adventure. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!